Dr. Clarissa Un from the Straits Times. I'm sure you're familiar with the example of Malaysia, where many Malaysians are turning to a lot of news websites like Malaysia Kini and have sort of given up on the mainstream media. What challenges does the Malaysia example pose for the mainstream media in Singapore, and what challenges does it also pose for the government, the Singapore government? Thank you.
Okay. I really shouldn't make too many comments about what's happening in neighboring countries, but let me try and give it a stab. I would say that actually the landscape in our two countries is somewhat different. The landscape in the political space as well as in the media space. Okay? I would say that generally, for as long as your mainstream media reflects reality on the ground more accurately than any other sources, you are going to find that you can and ought to be able to retain a sizable segment of your population. Without commenting on other countries, I would say that for Singapore, if you go into the new media space, a number of, the more popular sites and so on, I don't think it reflects reality on the ground. Because if you believe what they say, we are probably, I think, one of the worst third world countries around, probably with a highly inefficient and corrupt government, and the whole place is a mess. Right? If you read only those pieces of writings that they put up, that must be the conclusion. And unfortunately, that does not gel with reality. Right? And so for as long as what you are writing has no semblance of connection with what we see around us in the real world, it is far easier to dismiss. Right? And so that, I think, is the contrast between the mainstream media, which I think reflects what we see around us, what's the dots and everything else, versus the new media, where they would be able to paint only one particular very narrow slice of life and life's experiences in Singapore. Okay. So that, I think, is the position that we are in. The position in other countries, perhaps including Malaysia, may not quite be the same. And hence, what is reported in the new media in those places finds traction. Okay? And anything that is a truth, maybe half-truth, or even a complete falsehood will get circulated around very quickly, and sometimes it gains traction on the ground because people are prepared to believe the worst of everything they hear. I think that is not the situation here in Singapore, and long may it stay that way.